in your statement, you said countering foreign propaganda should be a top priority, and it is very concerning that progress on combating this problem is being delayed because the State Department isn't tapping into these resources. I assume you've raised this issue with State Department officials, maybe with the Secretary of State, maybe with the President. Why are they not using this money to fight Russian and ISIS propaganda?
Well, I have raised it. In fact, we had a hearing a couple weeks ago on this where I was able to talk to the Deputy Secretary of State specifically about this issue, and he indicated that this was one of the Secretary's priorities, that they wanted to, provide the funding. I think part of the issue, frankly, Wolf, is they have had a tough time getting up and going at the State Department, partly because they don't have nominees who have been confirmed in political positions, including with regard to this one area of pushing back on disinformation. So my hope is it's just a matter of time until they get people in place and can begin to focus on this issue. We traditionally, in the United States, have assumed that other countries are sort of playing fair on this, and at the same time, Russia has been spending more and more money and more resources, particularly online, with effective disinformation campaigns, not just here in this country, but around the world. In fact, even more so with regard to Eastern European countries, the Baltic countries as an example. And we do need to push back, and we need to be helpful to other countries as they try to push back.
Before I let you go, I know you're helping to lead the bipartisan effort right now behind a bill to combat sex trafficking and to crack down on websites that promote it. Tell us about this legislation.
Well, it's very simple. We're trying to keep girls and women from being exploited online. Sex trafficking has exploded in this country, we are told. All the data indicates that. And I think the reason is pretty clear, which is it's moved, as victims of sex trafficking have told me, from the street corner to the smartphone. And this means that we need to go after some of these websites that have been brazenly selling girls and women online. They've had an immunity based on the court cases that have been brought against them, the prosecutions against them. They have had an immunity that they've been hiding behind in federal law. So our legislation is very simple. It just removes that immunity in a very targeted, direct way that says if you knowingly facilitate sex trafficking, that you cannot hide behind this immunity. And it essentially takes the federal law that already exists against sex trafficking and puts it clearly in place with regard to these websites. The one that's most offensive, the one that is promoting most of this, is called Backpage.com. And so we spent 2 years investigating this organization. We found out they were knowingly, again, selling girls and women online illegally. And we just need to have a way to be able to allow victims to be able to get the justice they deserve, and to allow the prosecutors around the country, including the state attorneys general, 47 of whom have asked for us to make this change, including the Department of Justice, to be able to go after some of these despicable websites that are engaged in this sex trafficking.